our meeting to order. Donna, would you roll the roll call?
Marcia White,
Here.
Nicole Harris,
Here.
Andrew Esri, Andy Luther,
Here.
Stephen Lindsay,
Here.
Ann Pearson,
Here.
Kelly Roper.
Here. Okay, let's stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn the meeting over to Dr. Wilcox.
Thank you. Just some updates. Summer curriculum writers have been in this summer doing revising, changing, updating, changing assessments, those types of things. And then we have our special staff working on their specials, frameworks, and scope and sequence. So that work has been ongoing. Preschool update. They finally started laying the foundation. Woo-hoo! Did we get the water? I think we were working on the water permits still, but it did not stop us from starting laying in the foundation. So that is more information to come. We have our special board meeting this week on the 20th and then one next week on the 27th from 5 to 7. We'll be doing training with the Illinois Association of School Boards. And then we have our back to school bash on August 8th, Tuesday from 4:30 to 7 in the back parking lot of the middle school. We're doing a lot of planning for that. It's going to be bigger and better than last year, so we hope to see you guys there. And that'll go ahead for today.
Thank you, Dr. Wilcox. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Roll call.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Andy Luther,
Aye.
Kelly Ropers, Nicole Harris, Marcia White,
Aye.
Ann Pearson,
Is there any way of killing this air camera? Yes, sir.
All right. Do we have any correspondence? Any questions on old business? New business. Planning.
Long-range planning did not meet this month. We took the month off to scheduling. There are some items on the agenda for action items later. As a committee, we have not discussed these specifically. We have talked about them in general, but have not evaluated them specifically. So I can't really say my recommendations to approve them or not. I'm hoping that the finance committee may have discussed them and have some comments for us, but I'm a little questionable about some of these items and may suggest we table them, but I'd like to hear more about finance if you guys had a chance to talk about it. Otherwise, I have no report.
Or finance, and do you want to?
Sure. Finance committee met tonight. We discussed the school resource officer intergovernmental agreement. We're going to recommend that we go ahead with that. We also discussed property casualty and workers compensation policy renewal, and what our 5-year goals are with that. The other thing we discussed was the data center at Oak in the Early Learning Center, and I would ask that Hannah and Frank expound on that.
So there's actually two pieces there. So the data center basically is a new data closet within the center that will service all of the technology equipment, anything from phones, access points, desktops, laptops, anything needing internet data provided to the systems. That will be, again, housed all within that new structure, the new building. So that was the quote that I received. Company that I use for E-rate project, that I have a similar project I'm looking at for 4 other buildings to part of the E-rate project. I had two vendors that had actually bid on, that's a nationwide bidding process. I had two vendors that had bid on those particular ones. I will bring that to you guys at a later date. I'm waiting for E-rate to approve it before I bring it to you guys. But why I say that is that's the vendor I went with for the Early Childhood Center, because again, they were in that bidding process for the E-rate process. So that the company is there. Now, since it's all housed within the Early Learning Center, I'm looking for Start Early as the company to reimburse or pay for it, et cetera, all of that project cost from that. That's the one project. Yes.
The data center per se, did you go out to bid on that per se, or you just use the contractor from the other?
I used the contractor from the other one on the E-rate projects at the other elementaries. Again, I had two people bid out to that. And with time, wanting to have this building up and going, I went off of those bids. The only two I bid on that whole project and the other buildings.
But it's more than $25,000. I'm just wondering if we should be bidding it.
So Frank, do you want to, he called Adam, the district lawyer, so it is an Illinois pool.
Question of whether we should or not, legally, we don't have, should we? Legally, Illinois school code says that it's a clunky code, but it does exempt technology from the bid process. So, anything that's data processing, software services, telecommunications, and then interconnecting equipment, software, and services are all the bidding process.
Thank you for the email. Sure.
Let's try. Oh,
We got a new system update today. My training is tomorrow. It's a whole new system that has been updated.
trying to figure out how to,
Yeah.
he's trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Yeah. I didn't ignore you.
Yeah, I know. I saw your thumbs over there working. I didn't bring my hearing aids, so I'm having a hard time hearing. So,
What I'm saying was that, I got it, whether it's legally we don't have, whether we should or not, is a question or decision, but legally you don't have to. Technology purchases are exempt from the $25,000 threshold. And things that, I guess it's not really technology as they use, but they do spell out that it's purchases, delivery, movement, installation or data processing equipment, software or services, telecommunications, and interconnecting equipment, software and services.
In our goal of ensuring that we can rent the space, which is what we have an agreement to do, we had to make some decisions very quickly about ordering because of the chain of getting things in a timely fashion. So we can do whatever the board would like. 100% understand the questions about whether or not we should go out to bid or should have gone out to bid. It'll be up to you guys. We just, we've offered to rent our space and we need to ensure that we have everything that they've requested per the lease agreement that we have. And this is one of those things that the data center, we have to have in there.
We talk about the lead time it's going to take if we were to go out for bid and the lead time it would take for you to get all the equipment in place. Do you feel we'll be at risk of
Absolutely.
not meeting?
And being able to get the equipment that he needs in order to create the data center. We would be at risk in not providing start early, the materials that they've requested. Be able to open potentially in October.
Okay. I know,
I'm sorry, and this scope of work would be, obviously, the building has to be up and running already, or as
Has to be in
constructed,
place, yes.
so that we can actually implement. So I'm trying to get ahead of, get this all lined up.
And I know I asked during the finance committee, was there a way that we can just go ahead and get quotes, right? Just get quotes, 3 quotes, just to see. And I know, Kenny, you made a comment that it was hard getting, cable companies to actually bid on projects like that.
I was very surprised even for that E-rate project that as a nationwide search, it goes out to the databases of all vendors and only 2 have even bid on those. Again, to keep with time frame of getting that building moving, that's where my mindset went to, using that lowest bidder from those proposals.
So I don't know, just so that we can do our due diligence, I don't know, can we get quotes, right? And I don't know what that lead time is gonna take, I think it's take work and can Mountain do the assessment, will that be just as long as the bidding process? That I don't know.
Let me just ask on a statement in your, right up here, the cost of the project and the current technology budget will be utilized to acquire the system. So you're taking money out of your budget to buy this?
I did not, at the time, I didn't know that there was potentially reimbursement or where Start Early was coming into the fold. So I assumed that we would be putting it out of the budget, and whether it's reimbursement, I don't know how, we're still in conversations with that.
Yeah, so Start Early has not hammered out yet on their end, whether or not we are ordering everything and paying for it and they're reimbursing us, or if we want to tell them what we want and they're gonna go out and purchase it.
All right, is this new money or is this existing money? Is this IT budgeted money that you're asking, that you're saying you're gonna spend? Or are you asking us for new money?
I believe we're not asking for new money, no,
Okay, so it's out of your budget, not out of IT budget.
until we're reimbursed for the amount. And when we spoke to Start Early
All right, but
already,
if you're not reimbursed enough,
we will be reimbursed, that's the whole point, but we will be. That's the agreement we have on file with them.
we're supplying the building, I think it's part of the building, so I think it's our responsibility.
Well, no, as part of the agreement that we created with them to lease the building, there are specific amounts included for technology. I think it's up to $160,000 that they will pay for or reimburse our district and leave all of the materials that they paid for. So it's in writing in the lease agreement that we created, and Adam wrote the lease for us. So the money will come back to us regardless.
Anna, can you speak to the cohesiveness of going with us
Sure.
over?
Absolutely. So that was the data center only. So the second piece, what you're referring to, Ann, is the paging system mass messaging piece. That's the other item I asked to for recommendation on moving forward. And so that system is the one we just approved through the middle school. And I'm looking through Oak Crest. There were a lot of spaces that didn't have speakers. They didn't have speakers outside in the hallways. There are spots in the stairwell. So rather than hodgepodging, I wanted a cohesive system so that we have one piece that we can manage from one point of management. And should we have let's say with this solution, should we want to send a mass message from Oak Crest over to the middle school vice versa? It's a unified system, so it's more than just the paging, it's the emergency response piece. And so during that project for the middle school, 2 vendors again bid on it and recommended by the board, or I recommended and board approved to go with this solution. I wanted to again go with the cohesive system for Oak Crest and Burley. And in that project, of the $76,907.32, I'm asking Start Early to, again, that line item of 150, 160,000. I'm asking them to reimburse the portion that would be of this project that would be housed just in the early learning center. So that's where the district budget would be then coming out of our budget would be $47,100.32.
Which is budgeted for in the
Yes. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I struggle a little more with that component. I don't think that necessarily falls under the technology exemption as much as the data center. Data center, I agree. Technology, I have no issue with that. Our paging system, I think, and I agree with the cohesiveness. I think then we need to write bid specs that say this is the system we want and put out for bid. We're spending $50,000 of district money. We can make our bid specs as specific as we want them to be, but we need to bid that out yet. Even if we only get one bid, we've done our due diligence as a board, as staff, to try and save the district as much money as possible. And to say, we went out for bid, we didn't just use a certain vendor XYZ at all. We've gone out to bid for the $50,000 expenditure. So that's just my thought. Again, I agree with cohesiveness. I know the way those systems intertwine and everything like that. Anytime we're over 25, it's just my thought that I think we need to go out for bid for them. We can be as specific in our bid requirements as we want, but we should be bidding that.
And were the materials ordered already for the paging system?
Not for Oak Crest Early Childhood Center, no.
So we really could do that. It's not gonna put us behind on the ability to get those specific materials.
Correct.
It's the data processing part that's for the data center.
Absolutely.
All right. If that is what the board would like, I have no problem with that, and we can make that happen.
Would be
That's the only question I had on that one.
So B. For action items, we just have to update B. Okay.
I don't know, finance talked about D as well. Be the same thought process on that one, is if we go out to bid. We can be specific that we're only gonna use a certain equipment, but I think over 25, we should go out to bid for it.
Jose,
And
Frank,
we may only get one bidder, we may, but I think we need to be diligent, in my word of the night.
Well, as far as item D, we have tried to reach out to a couple companies, and as you know, some of them work proprietary, especially with Honeywell. And then now we're running into a time frame issue now too, where it's like, you need it now, or you don't get it until later. We need ROE approval for occupancy. And I want to make sure we have that approval for occupancy if we're going to be ready for the area. So we can go ahead and go out to bid. I just don't want to risk where if we don't get the ROE occupancy, sure that achieves our lineup.
How long does that bid process happen? When you
So when you put something out to bid, usually you have to put it out, I believe, for 10 business days. Kind of set a date to come in, and like a week later, you kind of put your bid specs, they come back another week on what you want, and then you do the process.
we're talking at least a month away. We can start it tomorrow.
and lead times for getting back on the particular equipment.
Well, what he's speaking to specifically is the ROE has to approve.
For as far as my item, yeah, so the lead time, especially like if it's fire related, so if the fire inspector, has to come in, has to approve everything, make sure everything is done right, done ready to go, they give us occupancy.
But I guess I'm asking that if the bid process takes a month and we get the approval then, and that's a month out, and so what's the lead time to make October, because we want this by October, right? So is it?
If it was approved at the board meeting in August, is it enough time to get Lake County ROE approval and then move forward with having it done?
But as far as the mine, drawings have to be done, then the drawings have to be sent to the ROE, have to come back to us, and then moving forward, then the work gets approved, and depends on where we are with the construction project, we move forward.
Sounds like we've got close.
And that's
Or it
what I
doesn't
don't-
have enough time.
It's not like we didn't look into it, as you know, a couple of them,
Yeah, we as a committee have talked about it and tried to give other names and call for quotes, so.
So we're doing our discussion, we talked about the, not that we're making, I know we're gonna have a discussion closer to the women action items, but I'm just wondering, are we gonna do both of those, or we're looking at one? Both of those.
I think item D, the alarm system, is probably something that has to be done this month to tie in with the building construction program. B, the bell system, intercom system can be treated as a separate item. It is going more into Oak Crest than the preschool, even though there is overlap. But I think that probably can be added at a later date. Suggest having come up and do C yet, and that's the rooftop units. The committee has been talking about rooftop units for several months. It's been on our list of things to do, and it was the next step to do. We just have not had a chance to look at the bids and dive into them and understand them fully. I suggest we table that one. I think the delivery time is about a year or more. So probably not going to make next summer anyways. So postponing another month probably isn't going to hurt installation. It's probably going to have to be done in the fall when school's not in process anyways. So that one, and that's $500,000. And I know you went out and bid, but I think that as a committee and I understand what we're buying for $500,000.
For discussion on that.
Well, the other thing we did in the finance, committee meeting tonight was review the finance bills and approve them, and if any issues.
The next one is CEDAW, and I know that CEDAW met in June, so. Any questions on departments? Any questions or comments on the department reports? On to, any questions on the FOIA? So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? Second. Wait, roll call?
Andrew Osring?
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay?
Aye.
Ann Houston?
Aye.
Marcia White?
Aye.
Nicole Harris?
Aye.
Kelly Ropers?
Aye.
Andy Luther?
On to action items. Do you have a motion to approve the SRO agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, wait. One point. When I reviewed it, I noticed a typo in the contract. Section 1.1 says the time's been reduced to 17 hours, and then in parentheses it says 16. And then further in the paragraph, it says 16 hours. It's not major, but it is a typo.
Say which section again?
Section 1,
Section 1?
1.1, and I believe it was the second sentence maybe of 1.1.
17 should be 16. They put 16 in parentheses, but they
Yeah,
spelled.
I'll have that changed. Yeah.
They just forgot to change it.
Yep, that was just an
I'll have that changed. Thank you.
Wait, roll call?
Nicole Harris?
Aye.
Kelly Ropers?
I'm sorry. I'm slightly distracted because I haven't seen any of this.
That's our agreement, just approval, yes or no.
Oh, yes, yeah, aye, sorry.
Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
And Pearson.
Aye.
Or do I have a motion or no? Motion for the replace or add the intercom?
Motion to go out to bid for the replacement addition of intercom bell mass messaging system at Oak Crest Near Learning Center is my motion to go out to bid.
Second.
Roll call?
Andy Luther.
Aye.
And Pearson.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Nicole Harris, Kelly Roberts.
Aye.
Do I have an amended motion for the mechanical and reduce the roof?
I'd like to make a motion that we table the RT units for the middle school until we fully evaluated and brought back at a later date.
I'll second.
Roll call?
And Pearson.
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Kelly Roberts,
Aye.
Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Nicole Harris, Andy Luther.
Next one, the motion for approval of the bid to add fire alarm equipment to the childhood center. So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Kelly Roberts.
Aye.
Andy Luther,
Aye.
Nicole Harris,
Aye.
Ann Pearson,
Aye.
Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay.
Aye.
Supposed to approve to add the data center at Oak Crest to the early learning center.
I so move.
Roll call.
Is that table talk? Is that-
Nicole Harris, Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Kelly Roberts,
Aye.
Ann Pearson,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Do I have a motion to approve the approval of the collective liability insurance cooperative invoices? So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Andy Luther,
Aye.
Andrea Esri,
Aye.
Ann Pearson,
Aye.
Kelly Roberts,
Aye.
Nicole Harris, Marcia White.
Aye. Okay, here comes the hard one. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Stephen Lindsay,
Aye.
Kelly Roberts,
Aye.
Marcia White,
Aye.
Ann Pearson,
Aye.
Nicole Harris, Andy Luther.
Yes.
I failed, Mr. Luther.